My sunshine, good morning. Mena greeted his wife, his voice warm like the first rays of dawn. He paused to admire her as she sat cross-legged at the entrance of their clay-walled home, weaving a vibrant mat of raffia, her nimble fingers moving with practiced grace. Good morning, my crown, Evie responded, her smile radiant but shadowed by an unspoken sorrow. Evie was more than a gifted mat weaver, she was the pride of the village, known far and wide as the most beautiful woman in the kingdom. Her smooth, dark skin shimmered like the river at sunset, and her laughter, when it came, was as melodious as the songs of the weaver birds. Suitors from wealthy families had once filled her father's compound, offering gifts of gold, yams, and even livestock for her hand in marriage. But Evie had chosen Mena, the quiet but hardworking farmer whose love for her was as steady as the rhythm of the seasons. 4 years had passed since their joyous wedding, and yet their union remained childless. Each moonless night, Evie lay awake, her heart heavy with the weight of her husband's family's whispered scorn. Her mother-in-law, in particular, was relentless, urging Mena to take another wife who could bear him children. Though Mena remained steadfast in his love, the pressure gnawed at them both. One evening, as Evie and her friend Essie sat by the river, their clay pots resting beside them, Essie broke the silence. Evie, there's a powerful witch doctor in the next kingdom, she said, her voice low and cautious. He has helped many women like you. Perhaps he can help you too. Evie's heart clenched. The idea of seeking a spiritual solution felt daunting, but the pain of her situation was greater. The river's gentle ripples mirrored the turmoil in her soul. Finally, she nodded, her resolve firm. The journey to the witch daughter's compound was arduous, taking 2 days through dense forests and across rocky streams. His home, a humble hut surrounded by sacred charms and carvings of spirits, exuded an air of mystique. The witch doctor, a wiry old man draped in leopard skin robes, studied her with piercing eyes. Go to your village river at night with a pot, he said, his voice deep and gravelly. Fetch water from it and use it to bathe. But listen carefully, never, I mean never, speak of these instructions or of what you will witness at the river. Evie swallowed hard and nodded, her palms damp with a mix of fear and hope. She thanked him and began the long journey back home, carrying both his words and her rising anxiety like a heavy load on her head. That night, as the village drums echoed faintly in the distance, Evie crept out of her home. The river gleamed under the starlit sky, its waters unusually still. She dipped her pot into the cool depths, shivering as a strange energy coursed through her. Shadows danced along the riverbanks, but she dared not look too closely. The next morning, Evie carried out the ritual as instructed. Weeks later, she discovered she was pregnant. Her joy was boundless, her laughter returning in bursts that filled their home. Mena, too, wept with gratitude, lifting her off her feet and spinning her around in celebration. The village women sang songs of praise, and neighbors brought gifts of kola nuts and fresh palm wine. But as her belly swelled with life, Evie began to notice strange occurrences, whispered voices in the wind, fleeting shadows in her dreams. The joy of motherhood was tainted by a foreboding she couldn't shake. She had followed the witch daughter's instructions to the letter, but the river had secrets of its own, and the price for breaking its silence might soon demand to be paid.